Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome along. This is episode 2 of the Royal Link Up podcast. I am your host, the amazing Sniper Beef, joined alongside by my co host this evening.
Hi, my name's Devastate. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Beefy, fantastic to see you again. Episode 1 started with a bang, had some great interactions from the community. And I'm very happy that we're here on episode 2. We're gonna run the ship. We're gonna talk about lots of stuff that we're planning to do with the link with this channel, and a whole host of other entertainment things we're gonna bring to you.
And more importantly, what is the countdown? We are at 41 days to go, less than 6 weeks to go till the link up. Super exciting. It seems like we only did the podcast yesterday, and that was a week ago, and time is absolutely flying by. So 41 days to go till the link up, 40 days to go until the opening ceremony, which is also super exciting as well. And today we're going to start off by talking about content for the link up. Now, for those of you who aren't entirely sure or are new to the Raw Link Up podcast, let me quickly explain what the link up is. So the link up is it's been going for 26 years now. This year's the 26th year. Basically, we take our PCs, our desks, and our chairs round to one of our houses. We clear out all the furniture. We connect all the PCs up via Ethernet cables, and we play PC games for a week. We order takeaways 2, 3, 4 times a day, and we take the entire week off work, and we just have an incredible week. So today we're on episode 2 of our podcast, and we're going to talk everything about the link up today. And we're going to start today. We're talking about content for the link up in terms of what we're going to be doing. Now, obviously, last year we started the TikTok channel, and that kind of blew up, which I kind of managed. But we're looking to expand that this year. So you'll be seeing everything that I did last year, and we're going to be expanding on that again this year. So all of the food vlogs, so all the food vlogs from breakfast, lunch, dinner, late night kebabs, you'll be seeing all of those walkthroughs of the link up venue, so you can see all the computers hooked up, how everyone is sat in the room, etc. You're going to have interviews with all of the gamers again, updated ones, because there'll be possibly a few more people that you won't have seen before as well, who are very much friends of the link up. They just may have missed one or two link ups before. And then Devastate, if I can take it over to you to then discuss the other plans for content.
Yeah, so we had such a great reaction to this, and we've had people have reached out on social saying they really enjoyed it. And I think that what we're gonna try and do is during the week still aim to give you that podcast experience, but actually do it at the venue itself. It might be live, it might be pre-recorded, depending on how it goes. But I think that it will allow us to be something a bit more dynamic, feel a bit more like you're at the event as well. So we're going to try and do that during the week. We're going to have a huge amount of content that we're going to put out on YouTube. We are looking at the moment about how we stream, and how we put stuff out across YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch, um, and how we make sure we don't just go live for a silly amount of time. We just make sure we are producing some fantastic content that you can look forward to watching. You can interact with us, and we can give you the best possible experience. So it's all being tweaked as we speak. We're trying to get plans together. So I think that we will be producing lots more content on YouTube and TikTok in the coming weeks. We'll be doing our podcast, as this is episode 2, and we're going to have guests every week from next week. So, Beef, do you want to talk to them about our exciting announcement for our guests next week?
Yes, so hopefully next week. They couldn't make it this week, but we'll be having Masanevre join us on the podcast. So for those of you who remember last year, he was voted the worst gamer out of everyone. So you can ask Masanevre all the important questions, which you can drop in the comments for this week, which we can ask Masanevre for next week. He will hopefully be joining us next week, so fingers crossed on that. Any other plans? I mean, first of all, if you're not liked and subscribed to our YouTube, please do subscribe. We really appreciate all the engagement that we get. If you're not on YouTube and you're listening to this on Spotify, please jump over to any of the other platforms that we're on: Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. x.com, and obviously YouTube. And we would appreciate any engagement with any of those channels, as per usual. Yeah, so next week, hopefully Masanevre, but as Devastate said, we're hopefully going to be getting quite a few of the gamers along for some more extended interviews off the back of last year's, which were quite successful during the link, but they were only sort of a couple of minutes. And hopefully this time on the podcast can be more of a long form content perspective that we can give you guys in the YouTube format.
Yeah. And what I would just say with that as well, if there's anything particular that you want us to dive into on the podcast, please let us know in the comments below, because we can bring you gaming news if we want. We can talk gaming news if you want that. We can talk more about the people, more about the link up if you want that. So I would just say, just let us know what you really want from this channel in this podcast format, because like, we're going to grow with your help, and I think that if we're giving you what you want, that's how we're going to get there.
Yep, completely agree. Right.
One thing I do want to just go before, just to interrupt you, Beef, I just want to give a quick second to plug our merch store.
Absolutely.
Because we launched it last week, had some great responses to it. We've already had orders coming in. I'm just going to quickly share my screen, he says.
And for those of you listening on Spotify at the moment, Devastate is currently sharing his screen of our website, which is therawlinkup.com. So therawlinkup.com, you can see all of the links to all of our socials, but you can also see our new merch store, which I'll let Devastate take you through now.
Yeah, and this is our sort of initial offering of garments and accessories we're looking to do, all the way through from the traditional wife beaters inspired by Beefy.
Yeah, I will absolutely. I've already got 2 on order.
Yeah.
I need the wife beaters in my life. They are the soul of my dress sense during the link up, because they are super comfortable when it's 36 degrees playing games.
Yeah, I agree. I've got we have decided to go with the snapback. I've got one of these on order. I've got the black and white snapback on order. We've got 2 types of merch. We've got the 2024 or the 26 Royal Link Up merch, and then we've got our traditional logo merch. So we're going to be sort of going through all of this. Go and get it on there. Everything is custom printed, shipped directly to you.
And then I would also say anything which is Royal Link Up 26, that's a limited edition, so it'll only be available for a short period of time, and then obviously when we move into next year we'll be on to 27th, and then it will no longer be available. So if you want to get this year's Link Up merch, go to the www.theroyallinkup.com.
Yeah. And I would say, yeah, just try and get in there as quick as you can. Because I think we can get it shipped worldwide. At the moment, we're still trying to work out pricing and distribution. But if you get in there quick, you're probably going to get it a lot cheaper than what you will do in a couple of weeks. So I would just get involved right now. But thank you very much for that little plug. One thing I wanted to do is just touch on a couple of points from last week's podcast. And as widely predicted, the tier list was going to cause some controversial opinions. We had, I mean, there was great feedback to it, but we had people saying that Nando's at a C was completely outrageous. And
talking of, sorry, Devastate, sorry to interrupt, but did you see during the week that Nando's have launched? It's like a 2-person chicken and chips sharing platter, and it was £26, and I was like, £26 for chicken? Like, you could go and buy probably an organic chicken, make yourself a full-on roast dinner for that with an organic chicken, and they're trying to charge £26, and I'm like, I'd look at that and I'm like, that's for one person. £26. That is why it is nowhere near elite and will never be elite.
Look, I think that Nando's probably saw our video and they went, right, how can we up the stakes a bit? But no, in all seriousness, it's the flavour of Nando's is nice. It's just the most insanely priced thing for some of the most basic food in the world.
Yeah, and what I will say is, if any of the elite takeaways, i.e., Domino's, Burger King, want to sponsor the Royal Link Cup in any way, shape, or form,
Yeah,
do
bring it on.
contact us via a direct message. We are more than open to having a discussion about that. Let's make sure we tag them in there as well.
Yeah, so and I think if anyone from Monster, particularly Monster Ultra, wants to sponsor me, I'm more than willing to take that sponsorship deal. But yes, so yeah, Nando's like at sea was got some outrageous opinions, and that Domino's is crap and can't be compared to a Thai or a Chinese.
I'm gonna have to I mean, Thai and Chinese are very, very good. I went to Thailand for a couple of weeks a few years ago. It's absolutely incredible food. I lost count how many Chinese I've ordered, but for a link up and a gaming setup, you generally want finger food or like stuff that you don't need a knife and fork with. And Domino's has for us has been the king for like as long as I can remember. Where I think the biggest order we've ever had, I think we touched on it in last week's podcast, was something like 250 quid's worth of Domino's, and the pile was literally like feet high of pizza. So yeah, Domino's has got to be elite for me. Absolutely.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Okay, so we talked about a little bit of controversy, talked about plans for content, and we've also said that we're going to be bringing you some guests over the next few weeks. So Masanevre is going to be joining us next week. Fingers crossed that we don't have any more tech problems with him.
Yeah.
But what we want to do by bringing them on board is introduce to them, get a bit more of a feel about them. But we're also going to find out a bit more real life information about them. So what we're going to do in order to warm up for that series is I'm going to interview Beefy. And we're going to talk stuff about gaming, what he enjoys doing in this world, in gaming world, sports wise, all of that sort of stuff. And we're going to shoot the shit for probably about 25 minutes. And we'll see where the conversation really takes us. So are you ready, Beef? Are you ready for these deep, intensive questions like that I know that you've prepared immensely for?
Yeah, I'm sitting up. I'm absolutely ready. I've got my bottle of water. Let's go.
Okay. I'm going to start off with one that you'll find incredibly easy to answer off the bat, but I want you to expand on it as well.
Yep.
And the first question is, what game are you best at?
What game am I best at? I mean, if we're talking of all time, it would probably
all time.
be.
I want to go all time. Okay, in the last 20 years.
All right. Last 20 years, best game of all time that I'm the best at would probably be probably Halo 2. Probably Halo 2 when it came out. So I was a massive on Xbox, particularly Halo 1 and then Halo 2. When Halo 1 initially came out, I would do Xbox Connect with Acidic Virus way back in the day and one of our other friends, and we would do Xbox Connect for many hours for many weeks of the year. Then when Halo 2 came out with the inception of Xbox Live as well, it was honestly revolutionary that you could play with people from around the world at any given time on honestly one of the greatest games ever. And my claim to fame is I was in the top 600 of 2 million playing Halo 2, so I was pretty good at it. Obviously very handy with a sniper rifle, obviously from my gaming name. But yeah, Halo 2 probably of all time. Right now it would probably be League of Legends. I'm hopefully going to get to platinum in this split. I got to gold 3, nearly gold 2 in the last split. But yeah, League of Legends is pretty much my game at the moment.
Okay, and B, can you? I don't play League of Legends at all. So, what does Gold 1, Gold 2? What does split mean? Can you just sort of give us an explanation on that?
Gold 1, Gold 2 is your rank. So rank goes all the way from Iron. So if you're Iron, you're generally really bad at the game, all the way up to Challenger. Challenger is where the professionals play. So where you see the likes of the League of Legends Championship Series in the US and the League European Championship Series in the EU and also globally as well. So that's a rank. I am gold. So there goes iron, bronze, silver, gold. I'm hopefully going to get to platinum this split. Split is basically where we are in the period of the season. So a season for League of Legends is give or take a year roughly. And at the moment we're just come out of split 1 into split 2. So hopefully split 2 I can get to platinum. But as I say, I don't get as much time to play League of Legends as I would like, and I won't dwell on why, because we'll probably come on to that in a few questions' time. But generally, I try and do one ranked game a day on League of Legends.
And how long does a ranked game take?
Ranked game takes, if you're really good, you can get it done in about 20 minutes, but it generally will run anything up to sort of 45 minutes to an hour if it's a very competitive game. But a normal game is about half an hour, 35 minutes, something like that.
Okay, great. So I would say that between Halo and League of Legends, probably one of them's going to be your most played games of all time. Or it could be something else.
I mean,
or is it golf with your friends?
No, it would probably be Halo 2. So Halo 2 was a period in my life where I was, I think it was my first job out of university. Or was I? Yeah, no, it's the first job out of university, and I was still living at home with my parents then. I would come home, have dinner, and I was gaming from 6 till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. every night, 6 to 7 nights a week, something like that. And I did that for several years, and that's across then Halo 3 as well, and then when Halo 4 came out as well. So I played thousands of hours on Halo 2. I'm sure there's probably, if I go and look back at my gamer tag on Xbox, I could probably figure out how many hours I've played, but probably be that, or maybe Ark Survival Evolved. Played quite a lot of that at the link up as well, and outside of the link up, probably played about 800-900 hours of that. But probably, yeah, more on Halo 2. Probably more on Halo 2 if I was being honest.
Okay, so what would you then consider is your most satisfying gamer moment
that I've had?
That you've had, yes.
It would have been on Halo 3. I can't remember the map off the top of my head. But obviously I had a sniper rifle in hand, and I got a triple headshot and got a triple kill in one shot cross map. So basically 3 enemies lined up, one behind another, boom, straight through the head, headshot, triple kill, away you go.
Oh, this is the times we wish we recorded stuff like that, but I don't think we had that technology back then.
No, I don't think that technology existed in the mid 2000s.
Okay, so Halo, very different to LoL, League of Legends.
Yeah.
What's your favourite type of game? Because we play a huge amount of games at Link. We go from first-person shooters, RTSs, turn-based strategy games. We do a lot, like a huge variety. We play golf with your friends. Huge amount of games. And so, do you really have a genre that you would ideally like to play more than any other style?
Probably. I mean, one that we don't play a lot of at the link up is racing games. I would love to play more racing games. So I'm hoping this year we can do some GTA racing, because I think that would be quite a lot of fun at the link up.
Yeah.
Probably racing games if I'm honest. But I think I've grown up on FPS. I also think it depends what time of the day it is. Obviously, during the link up, we play for roughly 15, 16 hours a day. And during the day, I'm quite happy to play a long, maybe turn-based strategy game, something like Age of Empires, Civilization, for example, Sins of a Solar Empire. But then in the evening, when we're, should we say, slightly lethargic because we've been sat there for 9-10 hours gaming, had a couple of takeaways, and done approximately 7 steps to and from the fridge to get a Diet Coke for the health, we probably want to do a bit more FPS, and which is a little bit more quickfire. So I think honestly it just depends at the time of the day, if I'm honest. But if I had to pin it down, I'd probably say, racing games, probably racing games or for FPS.
Yeah, I think that last year, certainly the people who tuned into us on TikTok would have seen us probably playing a lot more easy to play games at the time. We spent a lot of time playing PGA Tour.
Oh, we need to play some more PGA Tour. I miss PGA Tour.
Yeah, I do as well. We were playing golf with your friends. We're playing Games that are typically quite short, typically quite fun. Fall Guys gets played. So around that time, but you wouldn't have seen us spend the hours in these long RTS games.
Age of Empires. We played a lot of Age of Empires
We
last year,
did
didn't we?
play it, like, yeah.
I really enjoyed Age of Empires last year. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I do like it. I think it's one of the quickest RTS games you can play.
Yeah,
That you can build a big enough army. Like,
yeah,
it's not like because
Civ
it's
or
yes,
Sins.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then it's
Civ or
not like
Sins.
Command and Conquer, which you could just rush someone straight off the bat. So
Yeah, because like Sins or Civ, like you could spend quite easily 7-8 hours on a game, quite comfortably. Whereas I think Age of Empires, yeah, you could get it done in 1 to 2 hours, and it's a nice amount of time from an RTS perspective to be playing a game for.
So let's take you out of the link up. Let's take you out of TikTok. What do you do, Beef? The people want to know.
So obviously, I'll get a lot of flame in the comments for this, but I am one of those Amazon FBA gurus, should we say? So I run an Amazon FBA business, and I have multiple streams of income. But I like to basically tell it how it is. So I think a lot of people have who do run an Amazon FBA business on social media and show it on social media are generally late teens, early 20s, and they're generally not as believable. Whereas I've had the career in multinational B2B, B2C corporations. I've worked for some of the biggest companies in the world for 15 to 20 years. I've had the career, and I saw the opportunity with Amazon, and then I left the 9 to 5 just over a year ago. So I run an Amazon FBA business. I also sell on TikTok Shop. I actually today, devastated, I signed a lease on my first warehouse.
Awesome.
So I now have a warehouse, which I will then be offering prep services for Amazon FBA sellers on, as well as being able to ship across multi-platform from an e-commerce point of view, but then also look to go a bit more international with some bigger items as well. So yeah, I do that full time.
Major stuff. Big plans on the horizon. So apart from being an Amazon FBA seller, what else? What else do you do outside of that? What do you do? What do you do to relax? What do you do outside of your work? What's non-work?
Outside of work, I will try and play as much golf as I can. I've been playing golf for 36 years, which is probably older than quite a lot of our listeners.
What's your handicap?
Currently 5.7. I probably am about a 5.7 at the moment. I'm not playing too bad. I haven't played as many rounds as I'd like to in the last few years, but yeah, I've played twice in the last couple of weeks. Playing again this Friday at a very difficult course with some very fast greens. So yeah, I like to play a lot of golf. If I'm honestly just chilling out at the moment, I'm very much enjoying watching Clarkson's Farm on Amazon Prime. I'm a massive Jeremy Clarkson fan and have been since his early days of Top Gear. But honestly, I really enjoy what I do around Amazon. So most evenings I'll probably be doing something alongside that. If it's not, I'll generally be doing some form of sport or exercise or training. So whether that be going out on the bike, doing weight training, doing some form of sport. So tomorrow night I've got badminton, for example. Might do five-a-side football. So yeah, I'll try and keep myself busy and fit from an exercise perspective, because I think now that we're getting older, I think we have to. Otherwise, we'll be suffering for it when we get into our 50s and 60s, shall we say?
Yeah, definitely. It's really interesting. You mentioned Clarkson's Farm. What episode are you up to?
One, because it's 8 episodes in total, isn't it?
It's 8, yes.
Yeah, I think I'm on 5. I think I've watched 5. So I've watched all the pigs die.
Oh, you've given it away. You can't give that away to the listeners who haven't watched it yet. Do you know what? That's one like that. That is such a sad scene. It's such an emotional scene. Such a sad scene.
Yeah.
Sorry, Beefy might have just completely ruined like half a season for you all.
Yeah, we'll make sure we put spoilers.
Spoiler! I'll put a big spoiler banner there for you.
Yeah, spoiler, and don't listen for like 20 seconds or so. But yeah, that'll probably be it. And then yeah, just getting as much sleep as I can, when I can, because obviously with having kids, as those of you who are listening and do have children, you get woken up very early, as I was this morning at 4:57.
Lovely. Well, I was going to sleep about 3 a.m.
Oh, 3 a.m.
Yeah, well, still got to get up early and work, but cool,
Indeed,
that's
indeed.
really fascinating. Do you consume much online content outside of doing the stuff for Amazon FBA and
Um,
for the Royal Link Up channel?
So I'll watch quite a bit of competitive League of Legends on YouTube. So at the moment we're in the middle of MSI. I haven't even watched any of MSI. I'm still in the
MSI, sorry.
yeah, MSI is mid-season invitational. So
Okay.
mid-season invitational for the best global teams in League of Legends. I'm actually still on the spring split. So there's a spring essentially competition during springtime. I'm still watching that, so I'm still catching up with it. But yeah, I try to watch a little bit of that every day, as I do like to watch what's going on from a competitive League of Legends perspective. I think that's pretty good. But and then I watch quite a bit of car content. So I like quite a lot of car wow on YouTube. And then anything around cars. I love cars. I'm a big car nut. So anything around hypercars, supercars. I watch quite a lot of that on TikTok as well. So I quite like Tommy, UK TikToker, very big on his supercars. Um, uh, yeah, quite a few, should we say, car or supercar,
Yeah.
hypercar YouTubers and TikTokers.
So you watch a fair amount of YouTube, but I bet you cannot beat my YouTube watch time.
I didn't even know you could find where can you where do
It's
you
on the
find that? Is it
app.
on your
It's on the app.
oh, oh it's on the app. All right, let's have
Yeah.
a look.
All right. In the last 7 days, I've consumed 65 hours of YouTube. That's not YouTube Music. That is YouTube.
Where is that? Is it on
Uh,
general?
Go to where you got your icon bottom right hand corner.
Yeah.
They go to you, and then do you have a time watched? Scroll down, time watch.
Time
This is
watch.
the this is
No.
the app. This is the iPhone. I don't know whether
Yeah, I don't have that, unfortunately. Your data in YouTube.
that might be
No,
it.
no. No, it doesn't seem to have it.
Yeah, like insane. Yeah,
General.
just over 65 hours in a week.
That's quite a lot.
9 hours daily. 9 hours 22-minute daily average.
That's a lot. That's a
So
lot.
we're producing content for me as well.
Indeed, indeed.
That's interesting to know. So what you spoke about giving up the 9 to 5 and moving into Amazon FBA, and some people will hear that and you decide a big deal for your warehouse, but tell me that journey's not been easy, has it? And it's
No,
not. It's not like you quit and then you had this. Like that's a lot of grinding there. So can you just so that we're not portraying anything that's not
I'll take you through the journey.
true?
I'll take you through the
Let's
journey.
take us
Yeah.
through the journey. Let's let everyone know.
Yeah, so it was just before COVID, so it would have been beginning of March 2020. My team got made redundant in the job that I was in, and obviously at the time I thought, oh, I'll just get another job. It's fine, all good. And obviously then COVID hit. Didn't realize how bad that was going to be. I was out of work for like 9, 10 months, but during that time I downloaded TikTok, as I probably shouldn't have, and then saw some people talking about side hustles. How can you make extra money in your evening? Because obviously everyone was furloughed and working from home, etc. I saw people talking about Amazon FBA as a side hustle. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to start looking into it. So I started watching a lot of YouTube, like a lot of YouTube on how Amazon FBA works, the different models of Amazon FBA, and then I got into it sort of mid 2020, and then I basically did it as a side hustle for sort of 2.5 years, alongside my full-time job. So I then got another job, and then about 6 months into that job, I then got poached by my last 9 to 5, who were an Amazon agency and where I managed the biggest brands on Amazon. So that was my day job. I managed the biggest brands on Amazon. So I managed Procter and Gamble, biggest client on Amazon in Europe. Did 9 figures in revenue in 2022, and I was think of it like an account manager for them. So I would manage all of their products on Amazon, all of their sales, etc., etc. And then I had enough of that job. Handed my notice in, and I had no intention to go full time with the Amazon business, but I made the decision that, and there was obviously an element of risk involved, but I had enough capital in the business bank account and my personal bank account that I could justify doing it. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go for it, because you only get one chance, one go around this planet. So I just went for it, and that was, I think it was just over a year ago. It was like 15th of May 2023. I went full time with it, and then honestly, I don't think I've ever looked back. From about November time frame 2023, it really started taking off and motoring in the right direction. But yeah, to your point, from a time perspective and longevity, it's taken over 4 years to get to where I am now. So as I always say to people who come on my TikTok live, so I'll plug my TikTok live, FBA_Chris, if you want to find me on TikTok. I'm live every Thursday evening, 7:30 p.m. UK time. They ask, is Amazon a get rich quick scheme? And I'm like, absolutely not. Amazon is a get rich slow scheme. If you're interested in starting a business, scaling it up over a period of time, and that's going to be months and years, to a point where at some point in the future you can go full time with it and make a lot of money potentially, then it's for you. If you think you're going to get rich quick within a couple of months, you're going to be very, very shocked and very mistaken. So yeah, to your point, it's taken a very long time to get to where I am. It's not something that I've done overnight. It's taken years to get there, but it's the best decision I've ever done. I've got complete time freedom. I can do what I want. Friday, I'm going to go and play golf. Looking forward to it. It's fantastic.
Fantastic. Okay. Yes, and I would just say, although this is not going to be a business channel, this is a gaming channel. But we will 100% plug Chris's TikTok channel below, and feel free to reach out to him if you've got any questions, particularly around that. And I would just add, just on to the end of it, is that I think that almost everyone should try and develop some sort of side hustle. I think if you are working a 9 to 5 and you don't want to do it anymore, you could just quit. But if you haven't got a bankroll, or if you're not sure of anything, just start up a side hustle. There's a million of them out there now. And I think that developing a skill that you can contract out and be your own boss is a fantastic place to get into. So yeah, start a side hustle. And any hobby that you have can become a side hustle.
Yeah. And
this is the start of an element of a side hustle, and it's we saw the reaction that we got from you guys, and now we're on a podcast having a great chat between two friends for you guys, and it's not to make money, but it's content, and it's enjoyable for me. It's enjoyable for Beefy. It's going to be enjoyable for everyone else who joins us. So I think that's the one thing to sort of take away, is to do stuff that you enjoy, and just, you never know what can happen.
Yeah, and I was going to say, from a gaming perspective, if because obviously I have complete time freedom, if I want to spend 2 hours just playing League of Legends over lunchtime,
okay, stop showing off now. Okay.
I didn't today. I had a meeting over lunchtime. I was teaching someone on Amazon, so I was busy working over lunchtime, and then I had a 2.5 hour call this afternoon. So very busy day.
Cool. So, okay. So you've sort of given us a brief overview. I think probably the main question I'm just going to ask you is, why are you at the Royal Link Up? How did you get there? Who did you know? How did it all come about that you ended up at the Royal Link Up?
So it was 2001. I think it was 2001. It might have been 2002. I can never remember the exact year, but basically, a friend of mine was a friend of someone who was at the Link Up at the time, and they invited me along. And I hadn't ever done any real PC gaming to that point. I'd done the usual Solitaire, Minesweeper, and then what was the pinball on the.
Wow!
Yeah,
it's barely a game.
Yeah, exactly on the PC. I'd obviously done Nintendo, etc., like consoles when I was younger, but never any PC gaming. Also had a PC at home, etc. But then I went along and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then Vedic was there, and he had a spare PC. And I was invited. Oh, do you want to go and have a go on Vedic's spare PC? Literally in the hallway, away from everyone. And yeah, it sort of started from then. I was like, this is really cool, and I was hooked from then on. And then I've literally been every year since then. I've never missed a year. I've never failed a Centurion during the opening ceremony, and yeah, honestly, it's one of the best weeks of the year from my perspective in terms of seeing your friends, gaming, takeaways, and just general absolute laughs for the entire week.
Yeah, I mean, we've had over the years quite a few. We've had alternative Royal Link ups over the years. We've had everything from Winterlink. Did we have a Winterlink at one point? Or an old
we had like mini links. So we had like mini link ups whereby probably maybe 2, 3, or 4 of us would go around someone's house, whether it be Masanevre's or mine, or I can't remember who the other one was that, but it'd be around someone's house, but then it'd be a few of us, and we'd do it in winter. And we definitely did it with the League of Legends one once, but we've had it at multiple venues. But generally, as a rule of thumb, it's usually between sort of like May and July, isn't it, from a time frame perspective? And obviously, everyone asks, "Oh, why did you do the link up during the summer?" I'm like, "Well, it's just from where it's stemmed from, where it first started, and obviously it started before I joined." But from a time frame perspective, that's when it was. So we just sort of carried it on, and it kind of works in that time frame. So yeah, that's when I started. Yeah, I think it was 2021. Sorry, 2021. 2001 was when I first started joining the link, and I couldn't even tell you what games we were playing then. Probably Battlefield,
1942, possibly.
Probably
Quake 3
yeah.
Arena.
Maybe Red Alert, Command and Conquer, maybe off the top of my head.
I mean, it might have been General. I know, because Generals was probably the year after, a couple of years later. But I tell you one person who knew, and that is Masanevre.
Masanevre.
He knows every day, every game that was played, and who attended every link up every year. So
yeah, he's got a very good memory for things like that, and thankfully, we can always rely on him to recall things that have happened in the link, which is a super useful trait to have indeed.
And because of that, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because when that episode hits, you're not going to want to miss it.
Absolutely not.
I'm sort of really out of questions now, Beef. I think we sort of covered a lot in there. Thank you very much for being open and transparent and very honest there. I think that was a really great podcast. Anything else we want to talk about? We're sort of around for close to 40 minutes now.
I'm going to hopefully be getting a new PC in the next week or two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be getting it from probably from Scan 3XS. So doing a custom build. So I'll be getting probably a 4080 Super with a Ryzen 7 7800 X3D.
Nice.
64 gigs of RAM. And then a lot of white RGB, I think. Just make it as white as possible.
Are you just getting components, or are they building the system for you as well?
Yeah, I'll get them to build it for me. For me.
Nice.
Like I'll keep my screens as I've got. I'll keep my peripherals.
Yeah.
New base unit, because mine I'm running a 2070 at the moment with 32 gigs of RAM. It's fine to play League of Legends on, but if I want to start playing like the new Ark Survival Evolve, not the new Ark, the new Ark game, which requires a lot of graphical processing power, I want a 4080 Super. I don't think it's worth getting a 4090, because for twice the price, it's not twice the amount of graphical capability, should we say. So I'll stick with a 4080 Super. But yeah, looking at around 3.5 grand, something like that, in terms of the
PC, it's just a tax write-off, isn't it, now?
Yes, I mean, it's just a tax write-off. It's tax deductible. It's come out on the monthly. But I've got a very, very big American Express.
No one wants to hear about that. Keep that. It's a family-friendly show.
Indeed.
Cool. No, I think that we'll see a few new PCs. I don't think that Lex will have the best PC this year. It probably sounds like it's going to be you. I think my system's fine. I was went from 32 up to 64 gigs of RAM, but I'm running a 3070, 5600 Ryzen. It's fine. Does the
Oh
job.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's
I
still a
think
really good
like
PC.
almost like unless you're running the AAA's at the top performance, you don't need it anymore. I think that's graphics cards are going through the roof because of the AI demand, not
Yeah,
because of the requirements for gaming.
no, not at all, not at all.
Um,
No,
and you can get
Nvidia, and the likes of Amazon and Microsoft are taking all of the graphics cards so they can do AI computate.
in the data
the,
centers. Yeah.
yeah, in the data centers essentially.
Well, if it wasn't that, we had everyone, but during lockdown, everyone was buying graphics cards for mining Bitcoin, and now
Yep.
the crypto mining boom is stopped, and now basically they're back in demand for data centers.
Yeah.
That was that was a fun time in lockdown when you couldn't buy any. It took me 2.5 months to order a decent webcam.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, yeah, and I was lucky because I ordered mine just before lockdown started, and I got the what have I got? I got the Logitech 920D.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good webcam. Can't really fault it for what it does. But yeah, I think that's the end of. I think we're at the end of the podcast today, aren't we?
Yeah, it is. What I would say is just say, as I sort of mentioned earlier, please like, please subscribe, and I'll tell you what I would really love get in the comments and just let us know. We just had a brief interview with Beefy today. We just want to give you the content that you want. So really, write us a message. Let us know what you want to see, and we'll do our best to give you that content. But for now, that's it for me. My name's been Devastate. Thank you for joining us.
And my name is the Amazing Sniper Beef. Thank you for joining us. We hope you have a very good rest of your week. Again, please like and subscribe, and we will see you next week, where hopefully we will have Masanevre on the podcast. And until then, ta-ta.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.